3 minutes. In 3 minutes, it'll be Happy Hump Day. Till then, it's Happy Tuesday for another 2.5 minutes. Welcome to the Midnight Express. Open topic, open discussion. It's just me tonight. I am solo. Brad needed some rest, so he is taking the night off. I know it's disappointing for you guys because now you're just stuck with everyone's favorite Sleestack myself. But like I said, this will be a quick one too because, like I said, I know how he feels. There's a lot of activity that went on last weekend, so and we streamed a lot, and he's got some other stuff he's got to do too. So completely feel you. So say hi to the chat. Hello, William. Yeah, it's just me tonight. So hello, Aaron, my favorite Aussie. If you would like to donate to the mothership, help us get new equipment, help us, you know, pay for subscriptions and stuff to cooler things that make the show better. You can always donate to streamlabs.com/the sci-fi center/tip. You can add your question there and it'll make a little chime, hopefully, if everything is working. There you go. And once that happens, I'll go right to it and I'll read whatever your comment is, hopefully, if it's appropriate for the show. There's breaking WDB news. WDB has shut down an entire news service in New Zealand called News Hub. Stocks and money aren't looking great with WDB do this. Yeah, they're going through a lot of stuff right now. Like I said, that's like I said, I'll feel better once they're more on more stable ground and the next guy comes in and the guy who's going to be the Warner Brothers CEO for the next 6, 7, 8 years is there because, like I said, there's nothing that WBD is involved in right now that I can jump in with full confidence, not knowing what's going to be going on with the company. So yeah, that's just another brick in the wall for me. That doesn't surprise me though, Aaron. How you doing, David? Just me tonight. I guess no more Batman 2. A damn Joker. I haven't heard from any like solid source that Batman 2's in any trouble. It just sounds to me until I hear otherwise, that he's just taking his time. But I haven't heard. I've heard a lot of rumors and stuff, but I haven't heard from anything solid that I could go to the bank with, saying that the Batman 2 is in jeopardy of not being made. I mean, I've heard a lot of people worried about it, and with Warner Brothers' track record, I can understand that, but I haven't heard anything. So hopefully, Azteca, that's not true. But holy shit, if it is, that would suck because I'm really looking forward to that. How you doing, Droga? 870 is pretty pathetic. Yeah, it was at 850. Daniel, earlier today, it was about a day and a half ago to 850. And remember, we were causing alarms last week when it was just under $11. But like I said, you make some of the decisions that they've made, and then you have combine that with the debt that they inherited when they came in. It's a problem. But like when you it all goes back. I mean, stock prices are what the average stock buyer thinks of your company right now, and that tells you it's telling. Doing an IMAX, all sold out everywhere. Ontario, Tyler, Riverside, AMC, Orange 30. Yeah, I saw it at AMC here. Obviously, you guys saw me with my bucket yesterday. Wow, I hope this is because Danny Villeneuve doesn't have a good box office history when it comes to money. Not quality. Quality, everything he's made, I've loved. I mean, he has not let me down yet, and Dune 2 damn sure wasn't the first time. It is an epic, mind-blowing movie. So I hope this is the one that really he cashes in on. It's a complex IP. I don't know about $1 billion. I don't know how much it'll make. I know it's going to make good money. But I really want this to be his one that makes him the best money that he's ever made, and then goes on to win him a bunch of Academy Awards because I think he's worth it. I've long thought for, I saw Blade Runner. We're in 2024. I saw Blade Runner just about 6.5 years ago. And then I knew it then. And I would tell it to everybody who's in the sound of my voice what this guy was going to be able to do in the future, and he has not let me down in any way, shape, or form. How you doing, Ruthie? She changed it. Ruthless aggression. She changed it. I am doing that. My day is just about ended. I got an interview tomorrow with the Cinderella lady. So I will be lining up my day with the UK so that I can get her on board. Actor Jeffrey Wright, Acre Gordon has said he still hadn't gotten. Yeah, and I hear that, and that could mean a lot of things, but it could also mean that he's, like I said, Matt Reeves is being deliberate. I don't think that, I mean, I haven't heard of them tampering with his movie. He'll walk. He has enough credibility to walk until I hear but once again, we just had, the dumb shit with Warner Brothers. Oh, we need to clean the house so we don't have so many Supermans that people will be confused, and we don't want to compete with ourselves, which is, I said it over and over again, bullshit. Like I said, and at this time I said that was bullshit, which it is. It's lazy, it's stupid, and it's dumb. And I see people who I love and respect trying to defend it. I'm sorry, I cannot go down that road with you guys. That is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard. Anybody who's in retail and whose job it is to make money for others and stockholders, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I said at the time, I dare them to try to do that with Batman. And I don't think they're going to. So I think the Batman's okay. I think the Batman will be fine. Till I hear otherwise. All right. Yeah, Aquaman 2 is on Max today. I'm surprised it wasn't there sooner. But it's just I don't like to think about Aquaman because it's just it just reminds me of how just mismanaged things are. You're off to Dune Saturday in the UK. Cool. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Sweet Ruthie, still haven't gotten. Make sure you get your bucket, Daniel Martin. I mean, they're definitely not rushing it because it's taking fucking forever. But like I said, maybe he's just he hasn't gotten the script to where he wants it to. But we could have something to worry about. I don't know, but like I said, they have a penchant for being stupid. The Superman and Lois thing, even though I'm not a big fan of Superman and Lois, I'm a bigger fan of that than anything else that they've done in WB on the CW. But like I said, once you set in the idiotic mentality, oh, we can't compete with ourselves. Oh, we're gonna confuse our fans. Once you set the precedent for something that stupid, once something that stupid comes out of your mouth, it could apply to anything, and that's what I was trying to tell you guys a couple of nights ago. It does take the subject out of it, take the IP out of it. Once you set such a stupid trend that way, you can literally apply it to anything that's not the main thing. And the Batman is not the main thing. Like I said, I don't think the Batman has anything to worry about. But I can't guarantee that. I can no longer, with a straight face, tell you that I can guess what Warner Brothers Discovery or DC Studios is going to do because they're unpredictable and they're not reliable. And they've done enough stupid shit, like what I just said, to give pause to whether what you can believe or not. I hope it's not true. I don't think the Batman has any problems with it, but like I said, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, me too. Me too. This is the first time, like I said, usually I have to hunt people down and corner them and stalk them. This is going to be one of the very first times somebody reached out, somebody, a movie maker, a film director, or producer, whatever, reached out to me and initiated it. I can't wait. This is going to be one of the first times that's ever happened. And that trailer is, like I said, we're going to add the trailer to the thing. I should have it up sometime tomorrow evening. How you doing, Fun? Bradley, what's going on? Definitely need that Sam. Yeah, get the sandworm bucket. The popcorn bucket. You people get your mind out of the gutter. I had so much fun with that thing. Yes. No, not that kind of fun. Shut the hell up. Just when I got it in the theater, running around the theater like I had won the Stanley Cup with it or something. I mean, other people had got it, but I mean, since they announced it was kind of funny. So I knew I had to have one in the store. So now it sits along with the other geek items at the store. It's not for sale. I need that movie. I'm assuming you're talking about Dune 2 because I don't know if I'm going to see it again because it's a long movie. And like I said, I am just my schedule. It's sad that I have to say that, but it's my schedule's so cramped. But dude, when that comes out on physical media on Max, I'm going to watch the hell out of it. I'm going to play that in our movie theater in the store. Yeah, I mean, and there are certain moments that I do want to relive, like his speech, the whole speech that he gave to the Fremen towards the end. Take them to Paris. I mean, that was really moving. Um, it was a brutal movie too. It was a brutal movie. I mean, there's a lot of brutality that happens in a very short window of time, and they just handled the fight scenes. Austin Butler, like I said, he made me want to just slap the shit out of him. Just his character was just so fucking ruthless and evil. I mean, um, Florence Pugh was in it for brief amounts of time, but when she's in it, you can tell she kind of dominates her scene. I cannot wait to see her in the next movie. Um, there's a lot of other things I can say. We'll do a spoiler talk. Like I said, we're going to be doing a shorter show this Saturday, a later show because I have my burlesque show this Saturday at 9. But we'll talk doing spoilers at some point. I'm really excited for a Violent Nature Horror Room. It's getting so much praise since Sundance Festival. Have not heard of that one though. But then again, I've been all over the place with this whole Jagged Edge, Pooh Blood, and Honey thing, so I've missed a lot. But that sounds cool. And if it's at Sundance, and definitely. Yes, you need to see this. Before I wasn't the biggest IMAX fan, but since Blade Runner 2049, I don't think every movie needs to be seen in IMAX. There are certain movies that have the size and majesty, like this one does, that you really, really should see. You really should see Dune, and the first one too. If you get it, I know they re-released it. Oppenheimer, I wasn't the biggest proponent. I mean, I'm a proponent of the movie, but I didn't need to see that in IMAX or 7mm. Just the standard screens that I saw at home were fine. But Dune is such a large movie, and you see it in IMAX and see it in the best sound that you can find, because when those ships and those worms are moving, when everything is happening, you want to feel it. I could feel it. My little popcorn bucket was shaking because of the action. So see it in IMAX and see it in the best sound quality that you possibly can. Ruth William, will you be sharing your live burlesque on the Discord? Would love to see it. If one of my best friends was formed for GBK. Okay. A local GBK. That's a cool name. I may. I'll have to mute it. Because of the copyright rules on the music. You have to, when you pay for the copyright for the music, when you do a burlesque show, it's not public copyright. So if I share it anywhere, it'll be muted. So, but I just might do that. By the way, I promise you guys that have been on the Discord. I'm glad you guys. The link is in the description. I'm glad you guys are having fun with that Discord. I will be participating a lot more with that Discord as later on during this week. Also, I am going to have. I'm going to start planning stuff. I know I've been promising this, planning stuff just for patrons within a private Patreon window. We might have some movie watch alongs that actually we can watch along within Patreon. Some musical things that we can do do. I really want to make that Patreon special. I mean, we do a lot with Patreon already. You guys are all all you guys that are patrons are the first ones to be the co-hosts on a lot of our events. But I really want to start using the Patreon to do some different stuff. I forgot Tim Blake Newton showed up in the movie where he got cut in the scene. I'd have to watch it again. There was a scene where I was shaking for 45 seconds straight. But dude, there's so many. Which one? I mean, I don't spoil it, but for me, the most moving part was when Paul gave the speech to the Fremen, when he takes over for Javier Bardem's character, and you see the people, because it's a progression throughout the movie. Remember, Paul Atreides is an outsider. He's not a Fremen. He's not from Arrakis. I mean, and his evolution, to what he becomes throughout the movie. And like I said, 2 hours and 45 minutes for the kind of evolution and the change that some of these characters go through is not a long time. Some of the changes that some of these people went through during this movie are things that happen over the course of several movies, and he was able to pace these things and get them done in a relatively short movie, given what's in it. So listen, whenever you guys hear me say thumbs up or thumb down about a movie, one of the very first things you always hear me say is pacing. Dune Part 2 is the most perfectly paced movie I've ever seen. It is the most perfectly given all the stuff that gets introduced into the movie, all the characters that gets introduced into the movie. That is so easy to fuck up the flow of a movie because you got this, and this. It doesn't. Everything that he introduced flows with the movie, and it never gets disrupted to the point where like, am I watching the same movie? Like there'll be movies that are epics that the pacing will be off and it'll really hurt the introduction of certain characters. This movie does not have such a problem at all. It's the most perfectly paced movie, especially for a movie this long, that I've seen, I think, ever. So yeah, the sound's gonna win an Oscar. That sound editing, like I said, I felt like I was in Arrakis fighting them. I felt that I was riding the sandworm. I could feel the fucking sandworm under the theater. That's how I felt in it. So, it's a horror film with the POV from the killers, inspired by the second Friday the 13th, and of course the town of Dread Sun. Oh, the Texarkana, the Moonlight Killer. Obviously, sorry guys, I'm a serial killer fanatic, and that's one of the earlier, serial killers. 1947, 1946, just after World War II. There were 5 unsolved murders that happened in the Texarkana area. They caught the guy. They just never really released all the information, but they think they caught the guy. And then after they caught him, nothing ever happened again. So they're pretty sure that they caught him, but it's allegedly, unsolved murder, but really probably is. How risky is a burlesque show? They go down to Pacey's. They're not Pacey's, yeah, it's about it. It's legally all we can do because actually, no, technically I could do more, but it's not that type of show. It's more of a sign. Oh, with our burlesque show, it's a B-movie burlesque. It's a science fiction horror themed burlesque show. Each month we have a different theme. Like on the May 4th show, it's going to be comic book characters because we'll have a late night burlesque show on there. Free Comic Book Day is going to be massive this year for me because it's on Saturday. And whenever we have Free Comic Book Day, I mean, it's let me rephrase that. Free Comic Book Day is always on a Saturday, but this year it's on May 4th. So whenever we have Free Comic Day is the biggest day of the year for me, no matter what, even bigger than Black Friday. It's one of those. It's the day that everybody who's like locally and has their little corners of the city, and that's where they go all year to get their comic books. It's the one day where everybody gives everybody else a chance as far as stepping foot in their store. It's a very important day. But when we do it on May 4th, I'm going to have a lightsaber duel. If you guys go to my YouTube channel, or you're watching the YouTube channel, but if you go to the video sections, not the live section, but the video section, and go to one of the earlier videos that's ever been posted, you'll see the lightsaber battle that we had here at the Sci-Fi Center that took place throughout the entire plaza. And it's there. We're gonna up the scale this year, and so yeah. But our it's sort of risque, but not like not raunchy. I'll give you that one. Everyone who saw it says there's a kill that will go down the best of 2024, whatever that means. Plus, it's gore, it's brutal, realistic. Are you talking about there are several kills in this movie that I think will go down. It's one of the best kills. Dude, there's a lot of killing in Dune Part 2. So when a certain character enters a movie and shows up on a vehicle in that scene, yeah, that was kind of cool. That scene was that once again. That's one of those scenes that you really want to watch it on the biggest screen that you have. I agree completely. There wasn't a moment that dragged very even slightly. The pacing was back. Yeah, like I said, I had to think for a while because even Blade Runner 2049, which is my favorite all-time movie, and this movie, I can't, like I said, just for reasons last night I gave you guys, because there's a personal connection. I can't talk tonight. Personal connection between me and Blade Runner for my entire life that I can't let go of in order to ever put another movie, especially 2049, which was an epic. Same guy though. Same guy did it for me. Even 2049, there's certain points in 2049 that there are pacing issues. Not many, but there are. In Dune, the one thing that Dune Part 2 has over both Dune Part 1 and because Dune Part 1 had a lot of pacing issues for me. But in 2049 is its pacing flows. It's almost like they made sure that ride didn't stop. You didn't get a chance. If there were any flaws in this movie, you didn't really get a chance because to dwell on it, because the movie moves you in places. It moves you all over certain places, in all different types of settings within the setting, that it does so at a pace that you were like, you had to think about it, to see if there was any gaps. Yeah. Oh, it's going to win for best film editing. It's going to win for best sound editing. It's going to, like I said, it's going to take all the tech awards. I can't see anything. We looked at the movies that are coming out this year. The only movie that I think that could compete with it, if Ridley Scott's Gladiator 2 is as good as people have said it is, that might have a chance at it. I haven't seen anything. Obviously, we have them indie movies that no one hears about until like 5 minutes before the Oscar airs. Those kind of movies could upset it. But the way those people who vote for the whole Johnny in the Box type movies are the same people that are coming out, passing out, and fainting after this movie. So I think this movie has a lot going for it. I don't think it's going to get upset when it comes. And the fact that it was released in March, I don't think that's going to harm it at all. I think that the fact that it is an epic, it's going to stay in theaters longer, and even when it leaves theaters, it's going to be streaming, and it's going to come back when it's Oscar time. So it's going to stay in the heads of people, especially a movie like this. Like Silence of the Lamb was such an epic movie, an epic accomplishment, that it got released in March as well, or February, I think, and then it ended up winning, sweeping the 4 major awards. Yeah, Dolby sound. And there's some theaters that have that D cam or that D seats where it shakes you and all that. That I ain't doing, because when he's riding that worm, I don't want to be shaking, and throwing up and everywhere. So yeah, I know some people who are going back to see it again. I want to, but it's just 2 hours. Was Friday the 13th inspired by the town that dreaded sundown, or just its own thing? A lot of it is its own thing. There was a lot of people that said that Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th were sort of inspired by Ed Gein. There's a lot. There's a cool history lesson of Friday the 13th franchise, the earlier ones, that give you pieces of all that. The look, that I understand what you're saying, because if you look at part 2, remember, Jason Voorhees is known. Everybody thinks of Jason Voorhees with that hockey mask. He doesn't get that hockey mask until midway through Friday the 13th, part 3. Part 3 in 3D. The first one was his mother, and you never see the killer. The second one, he has a stack over his head with one eye. That's why he looks like the one from the town that's in that, because that's what the killer wore. It wasn't until midway through the third Friday the 13th he kills Shelley. Why I remember the victim's name, because Shelley was a practical joker, and he gets him and cuts his throat, and he's playing practical jokes and scaring people, and he has a 1950s Detroit Red Wings hockey mask on, and that's what he's wearing. Jason kills him, and that's when he takes the mask from him. And it's midway through part 3. So in 1982 is when he takes the mask off, and that's the very first time he gets it. The very first kill he does, I forgot what the girl's name, it's with the harpoon gun, because he walks up on her, and he has the mask on, and she thinks it's Shelley because he just spooked her wearing the mask. So she doesn't realize it's not him until it's too late, and it's done in 3D. It's a harpoon gun, a harpoon shot right in her eye in 3D. That's where he gets that mask. So, but yeah, that's I could see where the influences would be there. Hi, Dennis. Dirk and I can't wait to watch Dune in its entirety at home on the spy. Okay. I don't know, man. I mean, if you get the chance to go see this, I understand some people can't get out to the movies, but if you do get the chance to go see this out in the theaters, do it. I mean, it's really amazing. Danny Martin, I would say yes. Even Jason Sackhead in part 2 is inspired by the town. I could see it. I definitely see it. Oh, so you're talking about A Violent Nature. I'm gonna have to look this up. Hold on. Let me email. Is it getting a release here? I mean, obviously it's gonna get a release here, but what kind of release? Some of these movies go on. In a Violent Nature is a 2024 Canadian slasher film, written and directed by Chris Nash. Describes it as an ambient slasher film that follows a mute killer. Oh, okay, that sounds like who targets a group of teenagers in Ontario wilderness. With the events observed largely from the killer's perspective, and in Violent Nature premiered on January 22nd at Sundance Film Festival as part of the festival's midnight program. It's set to be released on streaming. So we're going to be able to watch this on streaming later this year on Shudder, which I have, one of the many streaming networks I have. Okie dokie, let's pull this up on IMDb. So I'm going to put the IMDb label, what he's talking about here, so you guys can all get excited about it. There you go. Let's see. Looks great. It looks like I can see a lot of Friday the 13th here. Taglines: Nature is unforgiving. All right, we're going to keep an eye on that. Maybe I can get the director on there. I love the sequel to Blade Runner. I can't wait to see what they do with the TV. Yeah, me either. I'm glad that's not one of the shows that's in danger. I honestly think Craig Fraser, be the best cinematographer working in Hollywood right now. His work is just Roger Deakins, right for me. This is the best. This is some of the best cinematography I've ever seen, but second only to another Denis Villeneuve favorite, which is Roger Deakins, who won his Academy Award for Blade Runner 2049. But he's up there for sure. Yeah, they went all out, and like I said, they pulled no stops. They knew what they had. When it came around. Let's see. Oh yeah, I saw the movie, Rick, and that little movie perp was making fun of me. If you go to one of the videos, I'm going to bring it up one day. He's making fun of me because I with my fat burger. What can I bring that up? Hold on. I found it to be quite hilarious. Hold on. I laughed my ass off when I saw this. Let's see. Present, share screen. Discord. This is from the other night when I had my fat burger, and I was admiring just how beautifully built it was. Like I said, it's when you make a 1.5 hamburger, 1.5 pound hamburger, nearly 2 pounds of hamburger, it's really hard to balance everything. And I've seen so many fat burgers where they just slap it together and it's all uneven and it looks like somebody just ran over it and gave it to you. This burger was like nearly perfect in its structure, and I was admiring it. And apparently, Little Movie Perp, who's one of our viewers, and he's in the Discord, did this.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time? And who can say if you love?
Probably going to get a copyright strike for that music, but that was hilarious. I laughed at that. I thought it was great. And then the burger superimposed on my face afterwards. I got a good chuckle out of that. So, yeah, Shudder. It's going to be on Shudder. So, I will be watching it. We may even watch it. William, I know you're busy, but when you get a moment, could you add a few slasher movies suggested to the pre-record? Yes, I will. Mm-hmm. Can't wait for the -1. It's going to be on pre. I can't wait till it gets on some type of streaming service too. Mm-hmm. Streaming is my friend. Yeah, streaming is a lot of people's friends for all the financial dynamics. It's really hard, especially if you have a family. If you have a family, it's really hard. Did you kidnap them? Where Spidey and Forth? Are they in your living room right now? No, I don't know. Lot of, hey, listen, we stream it. We streamed every day for like 2 months solid, guys. So I can understand if some of you cannot make it every night. I can't believe I've done this many in a row. But we've had stuff to talk about. It hasn't been work, but I can understand you guys. Everybody has their limit. Who knows when I'll reach mine? But yeah, the Hans Zimmer score is pretty good. It's good Hans Zimmer throughout the first two acts. It's kind of a continuation, of the first one. Where it distinguishes itself is in that third act, in those battles and those speeches and everything else. He goes to a different level, so it's his usual great. It meets his standard for sure. All right, man. See you later, Hal. Get some sleep. Sleep is your friend. Trust me, I know. Little movie perp. He comes in the chat every now and then. He's got his own channel too. Yeah, he comes in and says hi. But yeah, he's hilarious. That video made me laugh. That made my day. I should tell him that. William, do you want Steen to retire as a champion or drop the belt to the Bucks? I hope he retires as a champion. I could see it either way. I would be okay with either way because I've watched I've watched Sting his entire career. I saw some of Sting's matches when he was side by side with what was known at the time as the Dingo Warrior, who would become the Ultimate Warrior, and they were called, ironically, the Blade Runners. I've been watching Sting since the early mid '80s, so as long as he doesn't hurt himself, because he does some crazy shit for a guy that's north of 60. He does dives and table shots, and I'm like, dude, you're insane. So I'm gonna just be, whether he has a title or not. I mean, that would be cool because they could play it either way. He could drop the titles, on a screw job finish or something like that, or he could retire undefeated and they have a tag team tournament or something like that. I mean, I could see them doing it either way, but Tony Khan has definitely treated him right going out though. Oh yeah, dude, that burger! You see how gargantuan I am. If those of you who've ever met me in person, I'm a pretty decent sized guy with very large, alligator, whatever, hands. I could climb trees, but that's how big that burger was. Oh, there's Forth. You called. Like Lurch. Yeah. Like I said, as schedule permits, for the most part, it's me, especially on the weekday streams where I'm at the house and not the center. It's just a matter of me coming down, kicking off my shoes, putting on my shot shirt and kicking back and just doing the same thing that I do anyway. It's easier. The store streams are a little bit harder because I'm literally running the store. So I gotta bide my time there. But here I'm at the house. The bedroom's over there. I can relax a little bit more. I don't have to worry about a customer coming in the middle of the store. But and if you notice, I stream almost predominantly from here. We only do the one or two streams, here unless we're doing something special. But most of my streams come from here, and that's why I'm going to be, I'm in the process. You guys can't see it off camera, but I got a big 3 wood panels that are going to block all this off. And I like the way Nicotina's looks, that whole bright yellow, and I like the way mine looks at the store, where you have the bright yellow and the merchandise behind. So I've decided I'm going to I'm not going to get rid of this, but I'm going to board this up. I'm going to have my belts there, but I'm also going to have a TV here. I got a TV mount that's going to go on that board. It's through here, and the TV will have different things on it, and then I'll have a different camera so that you guys can see the stuff that the TV has on it. So working on that one. Yeah, they had the same. They had the same basic design in the '80s. Like I said, I remember watching those, and they were in the UWF. I was jumping and zoom in. I'll see. I'll see you later. Have a great. Yeah. Yeah, this one's gonna probably wrap up here pretty soon because, like I said, we're at 37 minutes right now. So, which season are you on? A fourth 1,000 call one. Sorry, I've been watching Game of Thrones. My daughter. Ultimate Spider-Man #2 came and went and completely sold out, so I got to reorder that. Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther #2 came out and did the same thing, and so but we're gonna end that right at an hour. We're gonna do a standard Midnight Express tonight. So we got about another 15 minutes or so. There's the duck. He took a night off. Like I said, we've been streaming for a long time, and of the 2 months solid that we streamed, I think we're in the 60 days thing. Brad has been there for every show, so he's got some other stuff he's got to get up early for tomorrow. So it was just me tonight. And like I said, even this one for us is going to be a short one. So. Some horror recommendation for you. I saw The Devil's Zoos. That's a long one too. That's a Korean. That's a long movie. Satanic Hispanics is hilarious. Bone Tomahawk I haven't seen. Or Evil Lurks I have not seen, even though it's on my queue somewhere. You always refer to Sting. Yeah, when that came out, that was at the height of the NWO. My daughter and I started with House of the Dragon last week, finished it. Now we're on season 3, episode 10 of Game of Thrones. What happened in season 3, episode 10? I can't remember. I know season 4 is when it got really, really, really like there was no turning back from season 4. So. Roman. Comic show. Well, you've had that. That's been the case for a lot, like 30 years. A lot of it is self-inflicted. So there are ways, though. I mean, to be honest with you, obviously, as a dealer, there are ways that each individual store and each individual person can really get the most out of whoever walks through that door, and that's how we stay alive. It would be a lot easier though if the companies that are farming these IPs out actually made that connection. DC really needs to connect, and James Gunn is doing a little bit of it, but it needs to be done on a much more grander scale. And you got to make people care about the IPs, and you also have to stop doing these fucking reboots. And like I said, this isn't comics declining. Isn't a new thing. It's a self-inflicted thing over the past 35 years. Once you break up the continuity is cash when it comes to comic books, and there's been just too many continuity blowups in the past 30 years, and since the mid 80s, and then there's been too many cash grab storylines like Death of Robin, Death of Superman, a lot of them were just speculator buying things that inflated the market and it made everybody think everything was okay, and then it wasn't. There's systemic things that comic book publishers need to do, and the studios that own the two major ones really need to do to make this better. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's a low print run. Titan Comics doesn't make high print runs, so there you go. Discord. The Discord link is in the description for it. Yeah. How old's your daughter? Yeah, because there's a lot of hey, honey, turn over there moments. Yeah, because there's they're liberal with the skin, let's say that, and then they're as liberal with the skin as they are with the violence, especially one particular character. Has anyone ever won their retirement match? Wrestling has a time-honored tradition of elevating God on the way out. Not with, with some of them, but with Sting, they're probably Tony Khan's not going to let that happen. Plus, Ric Flair, he won his retirement match against Jeff Jarrett. Some of them do it that way. Like Shawn Michaels kind of did it that way. Triple H, but they weren't in their 60s and 70s either. So, wonder if any current WWE wrestlers will show up to watch Sting's last match. Maybe AJ Styles, since he has a history with Sting. I think they will. I don't know for sure because they're under contract, but I think that if there was going to happen, if Triple H could cut a deal with Tony Khan to let Dustin Rhodes be there for his brother's championship moment at WrestleMania, I think they could make a deal to where they could get the footage that Sting had, that was in WCW, and he could probably have some wrestlers be there. I think there's a deal to be cut there if they wanted to do it because, like I said, with the Bloodline having all their family there and all the Nahi family there, it would be cool for Dustin Rhodes to be there at his brother's side as his family, So maybe. Uh-oh. Something happened here. What was that sound? Oh, that's a Discord server sound. Here we go. I'm still getting used to this guys. Let's see. I have it up. Wow, you guys have been hitting this thing. Holy shit. Oh, wow, cool. So what's general? What happened in the general? 222. Let's see. Text channels. I'm just looking at what made that ping. There we go. Unleash. All right. Stay up to date with today's messages. General text channels. Neato. Poor Brad. Wow, you guys have posted a lot in here, so I got to get on the ball. I forgot to ask you, William, but they released a whole VFK breakdown for -1, and it's super interesting. I saw that. I was really surprised at how much CGI that they ended up using. I thought for the most part it was going to be a guy. It looks like a guy in a suit in some cases, and I'm pretty sure they'll show that at some points there are, but there's a lot of CGI in that movie that I didn't think was there. I did see that though. That was let's see. William, do you think you and Enoch will stream together anytime soon? I'd like to hear your thoughts contrasted with his because I know he's got a different opinion than you about the Superman and Lois. He streams during the day and afternoon from his car. Right now, I haven't seen him on the nighttime, but I chatted. I was in the chat when he came up with that, and I put my opinion out there. And like I said, I hope he do. Our schedules just don't line up anymore. Sometimes we cross over when I was on a vodka stream and he comes on, but his schedule, he doesn't do like late night streams. He even said he probably won't be doing late night streams like he was before, which is that's where I am. So if our schedules line up, yeah. But we've had that conversation, even a while back before he went on hiatus. And anybody else that's out there, like I said, I respect your guys' opinion about this, but I just think this is corporate malfeasance. The first step to failure for DC is not being DC, is taking a generic approach to DC. That is the first step to failure when it comes to DC. The whole competing with themselves, I've heard that when it's applied to other franchises, that's you're failing when you are using generic trains of thought to apply an approach to probably the most unique platform out there, which is DC, as far as longevity, as far as diversity, as far as multi-layered, multifaceted storytelling. You cannot use those rules. That whole competing with yourself stuff, you cannot use those rules. If there's one company you cannot use those rules, it's DC. They need to develop a brand. You're using generic thought and applying it. And that's, like I said, everyone who has done this, the one thing people need to realize about when it comes to the whole competing with yourself and confusion nonsense is they've used this train of thought before and people just aren't paying attention. It has failed every single time. DC has used this approach that people are cheering now. It has failed. Most of you don't go back to 1986. I'll go back there for you. Whenever DC has eliminated options and alienated customers and and consolidated customers in this matter, it has failed. And we just we're talking about why comic sales are where they are right now. It's the same thing with DC Studios and where they are right now with their films. Eliminating options is eliminating customers. There is no other opinion about it. There is no other way around it. When you eliminate options, you eliminate customers, period. You can try to justify it. You can try to let James Gunn cook. You can come up with any up to your neck bullshit that you can come to which to try to reconcile that in your head. It's dollars and cents. When you eliminate an option, especially when you have it's an established option that a customer is enjoying on any level, you will most likely lose that customer. So the only person that's competing with themselves is the idiot that does that. You're competing with yourself because you're costing yourself money. Never, ever forsake the customer that is in front of you. Never forsake the customer that you have in hand right now. You do not ever eliminate those options. There are so many, especially when you're DC, there are so many ways to do this right, and they never do. That's why if it doesn't have a bat on it, you can't sell it for the most part. And that's why their studios are where they at. When your first step is using generic, they can't do that and they can't do that when you're applying to DC. If I'm in the corner office and you're on my payroll and you come in, like I said, if you ever came into my office saying that I don't think we should do this, boss, because it would be competing with ourselves and it would compete the audience, my response is get the fuck out of my office, go get the smallest box you can find, put your shit in it, and you got 5 minutes to get out of the building because I need to order some food, and then I need to call you a replacement, and hopefully he's not a fucking moron like you that's about to cost me millions. All right, that's how I'm going to handle that. So that's my opinion about it. I understand other people have other opinions about it, but you also have to realize everything you guys are, when people say this, it has never worked. It has never worked. I've been collecting and involved in these IPs for nearly 4 decades now. And this is like not the first time that somebody was come up with this dumb bullshit. It has failed every time. How many times does it have to fail for, and like I said, it starts with smart people who should know better in executive positions, trickling that bullshit down, and people are like, well, it came from the corporate, it must be true. No, it's not. Right? It has failed every time. Every single time. It is why you have $8 stock with DC right now, or Warner Brothers Discovery. It is why you have comic book sales with DC where they are right now. That mentality is why we're here. So, yeah, there you go. That's my opinion about it. It's not going to really change. I mean, no matter who's on the screen with me, because there's no evidence that anyone could ever bring to the screen to me that would change my mind from the 40 years of evidence that I've already seen. So this way that they're doing things is literally why you have stock. Next time this company goes up for sale, like I said, once we get done raising money for AFSP, maybe I'll do a GoFundMe because I'll be able to afford it at that point with a little help. So there you go. Going to watch Dune in full tomorrow. Prep for the sequel. Okay, cool. Good thing to do. Good thing to do, especially if you haven't seen it. What's up, RJ? How you doing? It's saying they only had a crew of 35 VX workers, and they're also young. Yeah, and I think didn't a lot of them work on the first one? No, Brad is burnt out. Brad is not just burnt out, but he's got other things that's going on that he needs to rest up for. And like I said, I'm just the insane geek that's keeps it going. But he's been with me for, like I said, almost 2 months straight. We streamed, so I can appreciate him taking the night off. William, Comic Book Master Theater, we need to pre-record our voices over reading comic books, time to visuals, and I'll edit. Let's do it. I think, can we do that shit without getting sued? Reading is hard. Nah, I like not knowing. I was going to point to my back wall of comics, and I'm not at the office now. So, Fantastic Four is right. I don't care anymore. Both movies will suck. I disagree, depending on how it's done. Berserk, Dune, oh, geez, guys. I'm not. No. I agree. I think it's two different audience with some intersection, but definitely a different audience when it comes to television. I never even watched Smallville. And, I know people that weren't Superman fans that missed Smallville, that never missed Smallville. Yeah, I couldn't stand Smallville. I thought Smallville was an abomination, but I know you guys love it, so I have fun with you as far as that goes. But you know what? I never thought if somebody came to me and said, we're going to take Smallville away, and I know people that love it. I'm not going to do that. I just don't watch it. But one thing, and here's the one thing about Warner Brothers, has got a bad habit of doing, and DC has got a bad, and they got to stop. They got to turn this around. They are known now for, and some of the stuff I agree with, but some of the stuff I don't. They're gaining a reputation as someone that takes things away and not somebody that gives you something. And once you develop that, that's a reputation that spreads amongst the normies faster than it does geeks, because those guys we're cultists or whatever you want to call us. Those guys are just average persons that are just the average person is always just going to go to the easiest option. They're not going to think twice. If they think they're being kind of led around in a circle, they're just going to go somewhere where they're not. That's really easy. Yeah, Superman fans. Yeah, I know some Superman fans that never watched Marvel. I'm a Superman fan. I couldn't stand the existence of the show, but that's just me. The only upcoming comic movie I'm excited for is Joker. Yeah, to me, I know a lot of people are excited about Deadpool. I have no use for Deadpool, the character. So generally, for me as a comic geek, if I've never had any interest in a character, a lot of times I don't have any interest in any depiction of that character, and so that's just me. 850. Yeah, you should be buying WB stock right now, because this won't be this way forever. Once they get out from under enough debt, and once some of their movies they string together some hits, maybe I don't think Dune is going to push the stock up that much, because it's just that one movie. Because if Barbie didn't do it, it went down after Barbie, which is not good. But yeah, be buying it now, because like I said, the next purchaser of WBD or whatever the hell they call it then is probably going to have a plan in place that might spike the stock. And if you get in at the ground level, $8 is a phenomenal price for a stock. Not good if you bought it, or if you bought Warner Brothers stock 6 or 7 months ago at $15, $16, $70 and higher. Like I said, I think Film Junkie in 2021, even though it was slightly different company merger, was $77 a share. So if you were one of the people that came over from the merger who once had $77 stock and you now have $8 stock, look at the decisions that they've made as a company. And that's how you get those stock. Part of it, a lot of it is debt. Debt drags down your stock, because for every dollar you pull in, you're pulling interest, everything up, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of it is poor decision making, because if I'm a stockholder and I see you doing stupid shit, I sell. If I got other stocks that are worth it, I consolidate. Why am I going to fuck around with your $8 stock while you're basically funneling everyone to a universe they may or may not like, and pretty much leaving everybody out in the cold? That's what drives stock down. So yeah, it's good. It's good to buy right now. Fourth, don't take your stock advisor's advice. Don't take mine. I'm an idiot, but I'm buying. Fuck it. I need evidence of that. I mean, you're going to tell me Godzilla -1. How much money did that make versus show me the worst the worst comic book movie out there has made it. Except for Madam Web, mostly. Yeah, no. Nice try, Marcus. Yeah, holy man. Me and Clint went. Clint, I got him a pretzel. And when we go, and I love the theater around the corner from the store, it's Boulevard Mall, Galaxy Theaters. They have a nice pretzel there. It's pretty big. It's pretty filling. Pretzel we got at AMC Town Square the other night was massive. I thought the person was handing me a pizza. I should have got a picture of that. It was massive. We've cut it in half, and it filled me up, and it filled Clint up. I'd never seen a pretzel that big. So kudos, AMC. Oh wow, I'll be going back. Can I just say, William, I appreciate all you do. You might be drunk off a peanut. No, actually, I've never been drunk in my life. And no, it's probably not. I'm probably pronouncing that right. Never even tasted alcohol. From watching Game of Thrones characters drunk wine every scene, but while I'm in my fields, thank you for all of the entertainment. Hey, thank you for being here. You are a part of that entertainment. But we discussed this before, though. When these things come out, you're talking about, and this is one thing I have to consider when I'm jumping into anime and manga, is the pace of the stories. You know, the sustainability of all that. It's not the same. It's not the same, and not every. If you look at what comic book stores sell, because there's one particular comic book store that I talk to, all the time, and we compare numbers because we've known each other so long. Most of these guys, some of these guys are selling a good amount of it, but most of them, they would not be able to run their stores on anime. If they took out comics, they would shut down. Even where comics are now, most of these guys would shut down without comics and other stuff. Without anime, most of them don't carry a significant amount of it to that point, because especially here in Vegas, where you have Asian stores that can get a much higher discount, so it's not even worth it sometimes. So but everyone wants to tell me, and like I said, as somebody who is purchasing and actually putting my money where my mouth is when it comes to anime, I got to be super careful, because everybody's telling me it's taking over, but I look at the statistics, it's a different story. It is doing well, but there's a difference between doing well and taking over, especially when you actually have to put harder. And like I said, I just can't say some shit on the internet. I'm actually putting money, and if it doesn't turn around, that money don't come back, and that hurts my cheap ass. Cheers. Fourth, no doubt, the most precious thing someone can give you is their time, and William has done that in spades. In a time of uncertainty, you can depend on William and the Sci-Fi Center. Thank you. And I'm glad I can depend on you guys. Like I said, this is fun for me. This is why I even opened my store. And when in 1994, 1995, we had the internet, but it was not everybody had it. It was AOL chat, $3 a minute, and like that. We didn't have this kind of interaction, and I opened up the store to have that interaction. The money wasn't even as important to me at the time. I just wanted to be surrounded by people who were into the same stuff that I am in, and we could have conversation like this. And this was back in the 90s when I first opened up. I never imagined we would have a platform like this. Who knows how the world would have changed for me if we'd have had YouTube back then. But I'm glad we have it now, and I'm glad we have our little community that we can bounce things off of. What are the Blue Mountains? Is that in Australia? Sounds cool. I'm gonna put 40K on that. Yeah, if you got 40K to drop on it, dude, because like I said, it's only going to go so low, and they'll probably start doing stuff to stimulate stock purchases. So even if it goes low, you'll probably benefit from that. Let's see. Well, here's the thing: manga is more cheap than comic books. It has more pages. And no, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But here's the thing: is the volume that it's available as far as new stuff. Like, okay, so it doesn't come out as frequently. So a lot of people will already have that anime. So when it comes out and the pace that it comes out, I could not run my business on it. I would have to invest so much of it and hope that the people who are into it don't have that previous stuff, because the rate at which the new stuff comes out is not currently could not sustain a good percentage of my revenue right now. That could change, and I will make those adjustments, but I'm pretty sure I'm not alone when it comes to that, making that adjustment. With comic books and things like that, you got a monthly thing that you can build your economy around. With anime, it's volume, and it's volume investment. Whereas with comic books, it's frequency investment. Two different things. I know that sounds like a bunch of hyperbole, but that's the difference in between the financial risk that I take when it comes to manga and anime versus the periodicals and things like that. And I also, it's a lot easier for me to make adjustments with the other stuff than I can with that. You got to be pretty dead on what you order. If you make a mistake when it comes to comic books, there's a lot of different ways you can correct that. When it's anime, the way you get it from the distributor, there's not a lot of ways to adjust that. So you could really hurt yourself if you're not careful. But like I said, I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm open to making those adjustments. But right now, it's not as significant a portion of my revenue, and I don't know if it is for a lot of stores. But it might depend on where you're at too. It might depend. I mean, Vegas is different. LA might be different. New York is different. It's here in Vegas, I don't see it, but you also have a lot of anime that's sold in bookstores. Now those guys have large, like when not Borders. I keep wanting to say Borders, but when you're talking about the Barnes and Nobles or Walmart or places like that are mass buyers, they have what's called a buying power that completely steps on me. That means that they can get it for a price so cheap that the risk is mitigated. They get it in such a volume and they spread it across thousands of stores, whereas I and most proprietors only have the one. So when you look at those sales, you have to figure where those sales are coming from and what they're getting it. If they're getting it at 35%, I can't touch that. That's hard. So yeah, it's a lot goes into it. A lot goes into it. We already had one of those. Max had one of those for me. Thank you, though. Like I said, I'm not disputing the quality of any of this stuff. I'm just giving you guys a point of view from where I have to, as far as like, I got to be careful when somebody comes in and tells me that anime is doing this, anime is doing that. I got to go with the raw numbers that are there for me, or I could lose my ass. All right. So happy to know everybody here. All right, I'm starting to fade myself. It has continuity, but the release, like I said, is a difference in continuity and release. Like I said, just you'd have to make a mass investment in it in order to, and hope that the market, with comics, I can adjust my market. Like I can adjust my market to increase it to get like Ultimate Spider-Man #2. I want to increase my market and marketability on that. I can do that in a way I can't do with anime once it's ordered. So, like I said, I'm just giving you my point of view of it, because the way it sells is different than the way comic book sales are. So. Yeah. I try to have, like I said, I try to provide a good conversation and invite everybody in. Yeah, check it. Join the Discord. The Discord, the link is in the description. All right, guys. I think that's about it for me. I went over an hour. I was only supposed to do an hour, especially when it's just me running my mouth and not having Brad to bounce any of this off of. So I actually think I did pretty good. The burlesque show is this Saturday at 9 p.m. Yeah, there will be pictures on the Instagram. It's been a year and a half since I did my burlesque show. I mean, we used to do them when we used to do them at the coffee shop that was downstairs. We used to do them the first weekend of every month, first Saturday of every month, and then we had COVID, and then after COVID, we did them, sporadically, and I just miss doing them. So we're getting them back. We're getting them back and going this coming Saturday. So. And then, like I said, each month we'll have a different theme. So it'll make doing our Saturday overnighters on that particular night a little bit different. We'll still get them done, but I really, there's nothing like live events to bring traffic to the store. So it'll be fun. All right, guys, that's about it. So let's go to wrap this show up. All right. Everybody needs something to get through. One of the reasons why I do this show on such a frequent basis, especially given the time window that I do it in, is because I have always told you guys before, these are the times of the day, these are the times of night where things slow down in your mind and anything you're going to just comes to the surface. You're at home, you're not at work, you're not in a rat race, everything slows down and you start thinking about all those negative things. And I think a good percentages of self-harm comes during these hours. No matter how many people, there have been nights that I just had a feeling that somebody needed me to be on the air tonight. I don't know who it was. I wouldn't know who they were, where they were. I just had a gut feeling that somebody needed to hear this Cookie Monster voice to break up whatever they're going through. That's why I'm on as much as time. Plus, it's easy and I love talking. But this time of night, a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, sometimes around the world, I just have a feeling that somebody is going through some shit and they could just use an hour or so away from it. So that's, but if it gets even deeper than that, pound 988, or not even pound 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline 24/7. Call, text, chat. If for some reason I'm not on and you guys need something, you call these people. They're way more qualified than me to help you through it because they've been through it. So on that note, this first Brad Bree stream in like 2 months, over 2 months, has come to a conclusion. I will see you guys tomorrow, and Lord willing, like I said, I feel great, and all I need is some sleep and some energy, some food. I'll be back at it. So on that note, I will see you guys tomorrow night. Be good to each other and be good to yourselves.